Cool, thank you for tuning in to blackberry.com. Tonight's episode of the Shirtless Chefs, we got pizza, very special. Tends to be considered a cheat meal, but if done correctly and you really load it up with veggies, it can be done in a very healthy way. Nick's got a couple tips and techniques for making your own sauce that really just sets the pizza on fire. So I'm gonna turn it over to the chef.
Okay, so we're gonna go with an old school Italian style. It's gonna be a white flour pizza. You can always substitute brown flour, whole wheat flour, and you just add a little bit more water. We'll post the recipe if you did want to do the whole wheat. What we have here is 2.5 kilos of white flour. In the States, a good pizza flour is King Arthur's. If you look for it in the grocery store, you want to get the all-purpose flour. You don't want to get the baking flour, or the bread flour. You want to get the all-purpose. This is the components right here that make it up. 2.5 kilos of flour, 7 cups of warm water, 2 tablespoons of yeast, 2 tablespoons of salt, 4 tablespoons of sugar, and 3 tablespoons of olive oil. So, this is what we're going to do first. We're going to let the yeast activate. That's why we use the warm water. And to help the yeast along, we're going to put our sugar into the mixture. And we're just going to give it a quick stir.
About how long does it take to activate?
We're going to let it set up for maybe 7 to 10 minutes. So we'll check in. Okay, so we're in the process of making our dough now. Right here was the 2.5 kilos of flour. All the ingredients that we gave you, the amounts that were given, is going to yield anywhere from 6 to 7 1¼ pound dough balls. The nice thing about making the dough balls in such a large batch is because you can cut the dough balls, individually freeze them in plastic freezer bags, and they'll keep for a long time in your freezer. And you can make pizza on the fly. If you know that you want to make pizza, for lunch or dinner the next night, take one of the dough balls or 2 of the dough balls out of your freezer the night before, plug them in the fridge, and then you're going to allow them to come to room temperature and reproof or rise so that you can put them back, you can set your dough up on the screens and put them in the oven. Okay, so we're getting ready to prep our sauce right now. There's a couple different ways that you can do it. We're going to do it from scratch. All we're going to do is we're going to brush our tomatoes with a little bit of olive oil. And then we're going to put them in the oven. We're going to cook them at 350 degrees. And you just want to keep an eye on them. Tomatoes this size might take, up to an hour. But you want to keep an eye on them. What's going to happen is they'll actually burst. The liquid inside of the tomato is going to cook all the way through, and it'll burst the sides of some of the tomatoes. When that happens, you know that they're cooked well enough to put in a food processor and blend. Okay, so we're going to cook our tomatoes, given the instructions earlier. We're not going to put any seasonings on them right now because the seasonings are going to get thrown in with the sauce once we put them in the food processor. Okay, so we're in the process now of combining our wet and our dry ingredients. Over here we've got our 7 cups of warm water and our sugar and yeast mixture. What we're going to do is we're going to add the flour. You want to find a pretty large bowl. A wooden spoon.
Is the spoon made of wood?
Yeah.
Keep it going.
A wooden spoon or metal spoon is probably better than a plastic metal spoon because these things tend to break off because your dough gets pretty firm. What I like to do is I like to stir it well enough just to get the consistency where it's all mixed in.
Should get an aerial shot in there.
Then we're going to sprinkle our salt in. One quick after tip is I typically like to put the salt in, then put the flour in, then add the water, but we did it in reverse order this time. Okay, so now we're going to knead our dough. Here's our dough mixture right here. What I like to do is I like to coat my hands with olive oil. That keeps the dough from sticking to your hands when you're working with it. We're going to dump it out on the table. Scrape that out for me, Blake.
Yeah.
Fuck 7 pizzas. Let's just make one huge pizza.
Okay, so we're kneading the dough. Maybe come in here for an aerial shot. What we're doing is we're just working the flour into our mixture.
Just want to play with that shit. Nice. Nice rolls, Nick.
The dough's going to be a little bit sticky and wet. That's what we want.
That's how Nick likes it.
That'll get edited out.
Yeah, film it. Tell them what you're doing.
So we're cutting the dough out. We're going to eye it out because we don't have a scale in the
Shirtless Chef. It's a low budget production. We're scale free. We're really into the old school, eyeing everything.
Typically I do eye most of what I cook. Well, we're trying to give precise instructions so that these recipes can be duplicated in the comfort of your own home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe just take a little bit off each one, see if we can't get that 7th dough ball going. Now once our dough balls are portioned out, you want to freeze them individually. Now,
So that's like just like a Tupperware?
either a Tupperware or a freezer bag, it really doesn't matter. They're pretty easy to store. These are all about equal size. So we're going to set aside 4 pizzas because that's what we're making tonight. These are going to be the 4 we'll set aside. So what we do is we're just going to put a little bit of olive oil on top so that they can proof. And the olive oil helps keep them from drying out while they proof. They take about an hour to proof, and they'll get roughly double in size. Okay, so we're just putting the remaining dough that we're not going to use for tonight's dinner. We're storing it. What I recommend doing is using a freezer bag. You want to get all the air out of the bag to keep the dough from proofing or doubling in size while it's in these bags. You don't want to jam in, lots of dough into these bags because they will burst. So, these bags, this size is good for a 16-ounce pizza, and it'll work, and you can store it this way. Okay, so we're going to take you through the pizza prep for our various ingredients. We're going to go through quick pineapple prep. What I like to do, run a knife right down the core, like so. Just run right the outsides of the heart. Set that aside. I just like to run the knife. Here, come in here and I'll show you. See where these line up? Just run the knife right down there.
Perfect.
Okay, so we're going to triangle our pineapple. You want to cut it thin, 1/4 inch slices. Okay, so now we're going to take our tomatoes out of the oven, done cooking.
Here, just get out of the way real quick so we get a shot.
Go.
Cool, continuing on with the vegetable prep. Got sweet chilies. And just half them right down. Put your little trash bowl so you pull out the core. Just knock out the seeds and string out just if there's any excess. That rind right there. Let's try and mix up your colors. The red ones are going to tend to be more sweeter, as they are the more ripe ones. The green ones are picked before they're completely ripe, but even though they tend to have less the red antioxidants like lycopene, they're much, much higher in chlorophyll, which is plant blood. And surprisingly enough, chlorophyll is extremely similar to human blood in its chemical structure. So it's great for any athletes looking for enhanced regeneration, any kind of speedy recovery. So you want to cut into like maybe 1/4 inch strips, 1/2 inch strips. Line them up, and then just dice them up. Alright, on to the ongos, so the mushrooms. Here we just got some creminis, but anytime you're going to work with mushrooms, I highly recommend, in this order, try and get chaga mushroom. It's great because you can even, you boil it down, the oil tastes almost like vanilla. And then I would say shiitake and maitake have great healing properties, super popular in Asian cooking, and has been used in traditional herbal Asian medicine for thousands of years. And maybe like a reishi or a lion's mane, super good mushrooms. A lot of the typical white mushrooms we get in our grocery store are just really lacking in the antioxidant potential of mushrooms, and most people don't even know how healthy mushrooms can be because we have these regular portobellos and stuff that people use for flavor. But yeah, you just want to slice it up, dice it up, and then you get these nice little cube chunks. The jalapeno. I highly recommend using a paper towel, whatever hand you're touching the jalapeno with. Last night we were cooking, and I didn't, and I touched my eye while we were driving home. Me and Nick ran into a bush. I was like, am I cut on that side? And Nick goes, yeah, you got tons of room. But on the other side, we were in a bush. And yeah, my eyes just wouldn't stop watering. So I'm just whatever. Bad idea, but pull this out. Get rid of the seeds. And then wash your hands immediately. No worries. So we're just gonna cut up nice and thin. You really want to dice it small for the jalapeno pineapple pizza. You get it close up. Nice, tiny. So no one gets like a big, overwhelming chunk. Final veggie to prep, purple onion. Cut off the bottom. Don't cut this on your cutting board, so you'll run into your fruits, and that's a real pet peeve of Nick's. I learned, don't do that, it makes you a bad sous chef.
Not miss fruit and onion flavor.
No, or garlic, just as a rule of thumb. So you want to peel the outer layer, just this really, really thin one. Don't over peel it. The good purple outer layers where vast majority antioxidants are, those good anthocyanins and fucharians, super important for endurance. It's the firing immune system, which is your energy center. We all know that the immune system is good for fighting disease and other ailments, but really, like, the vast majority of your energy production comes from how fortified your immune system is. So you kind of max it out with antioxidants. Just gonna slice it up, hop in here real quick, nice and close. Just take the stacks, chop them into little triangles, about like that. Man. Cool. Turn it over to Nick. Nick, show him how to clean it up. What you got going on with the chicken?
Okay, so this one is going to be for the barbecue chicken that we're making. You can get a little creative with the barbecue sauce. In this case, we're actually using some more chipotle, which is
close up on that label.
Blackberry chipotle. And we're just going to pour just a little bit in, just to coat the chicken.
Blackberry barbecue is going to be out of control.
Okay. Okay, so we're cleaning the chicken. We want to just cut it in cubes. Okay, so our tomatoes have come out of the oven. You can see how the outside skin's separated. We let them cool for a little bit. We're going to peel them. You don't have to necessarily get all the skin off the tomato because it's going to get in the food process. It's going to go in the food processor. But what you do want to do is you want to core it.
How many tomatoes do you need approximately for enough sauce for one pizza, Nick?
We're going to give you a recipe for using 800 grams of tomatoes, and that 800 grams of tomatoes will give you enough sauce for 3 16-inch pizzas.
And how many, would you say that's about 800 grams of 6 tomatoes right there?
No, this is actually a little bit more than 800 grams right now. We're just making extra sauce because we're making more pizza. Tomatoes in our blender.
If you bought canned tomatoes, in one can of 800 grams would make
3 pizzas.
And that's taking a shortcut. Of course, we're doing these fresh homemade tomatoes ourselves, but
Cool. The garlic. Go ahead. Let's cover it up. Just open it up. Give it a little smash. Nice and light. That way the outside shell just peels off super easy. Once you get that outer peel off, just cut off the top and the bottom. We're going to dice it real nice and fine so the flavor soaks out, almost liquefies on the top of the pizza. You can cut it. So I'm like, cool, come in real close, get a close up on the garlic. You can see it peel nice and fine. So it just works into the flavor of the pizzas. We're actually only going to use about half of this for the first pizza. right.
Okay, so right now we've got our roasted tomatoes that we made in the oven. It's about 800 grams of tomatoes. We're going to add about a tablespoon of Parmesan cheese, a tablespoon of Italian seasonings, a tablespoon of sugar, 3/4 of a tablespoon of salt, a tablespoon of olive oil, and about 3 garlic cloves. This is enough to make roughly 3 pizzas here. Okay, so when making these pizzas from home, I recommend using these pizza screens. These pizza screens can be purchased for like $4 or $5 online, and you can just go on Amazon and type in pizza screen. What we're doing now is we're brushing it with a little bit of olive oil. Once they're seasoned with olive oil initially, when you buy them, follow the instructions. You won't have to brush them with olive oil, but we haven't used this particular pizza screen in a while, so we don't want to take any chances of having our pizza stick. What I do, I throw a little bit of flour down. Here's your workspace. Get a little bit of flour on your hands. You got your dough ball here. You just want to press it out. Flip it. You want to try and maintain uniform thickness all the way through. Haven't done this in a while. Just a little bit more.
Right, this is the shirtless chef, dog. Chad Dog's breaking the rules, so he's sitting in the corner.
Yeah, I fucked it up. I made it too thin in the middle. Now, just form the pizza around the screen. I like these screens because they give you a nice, professional pizza store taste out of your home oven. It gets the bottom nice and crispy, and it also provides a template to make a perfect, relatively perfect circle. Okay, so this is for our buffalo chicken pizza. We just pre-cooked.
No, this is not the.
Okay, this is our chicken that we pre-cooked for our buffalo or barbecue chicken.
You son of a bitch!
Okay, so this is for our blackberry barbecue chicken. We just heated our marinated blackberry barbecue chicken through.
Just cook the outside so it can finish cooking in the oven. 3, 2, 1. Talk over the drums.
Okay, so we're just playing around. We've got our hickory brown sugar barbecue sauce. We're going to mix a little bit of that with a little bit of our mora chipotle. Give it a quick stir, and then we're going to sauce it on.
You guys should play something good. You're gonna play. The background don't suck. Just sounds like a fucking 2-year-old's on the drums over there.
That's what's up, y'all.
That might be a little heavy on the humps. You know what's up.
Okay, so the cheese construction for the buffalo chicken, you can actually get pretty creative. I'm putting a little bit of mozzarella on at the moment. You can actually use Monterey Jack. That's another good cheese for this. A little bit of cheddar. Those Pinot Springs. You can't find this from the organic farms locally. Red onions. Going on. we're just gonna feather our chicken on, which is really hot. Okay, so now we're gonna add a couple pineapples to give it a little bit of extra flavor.
Go sets it on fire!
Alright, so we're going in the oven, 550. We're gonna put it towards the middle rack.
Middle rack, 550 for how long?
It depends on your oven. Usually it can cook in as fast as 8 minutes. Sometimes it can take 12 to 15 minutes though, so it's a wide variety. What we're going to do is we're going to show you what the bottom of the crust needs to look like. It might be a little bit of trial and error to get it right the first time, but once you know what the cook time is, then you're good.
So check it at 8 minutes.
Yes.
Cool, we're hooking it up for the Veggie Supreme. We're going to get a little extra protein in there. So rather than adding the whole stock, I'm just going to take a cheese grater and grate the florets. Just get this nice, light, just really packed. It's actually 26% protein by weight. For a little variety, I'm going to do the same thing with a carrot. Man, look at the, just get a shot of color contrast. Cool.
Okay, so now we're going to build our vegetarian supreme pizza. We've got our dough loaded nicely on our screen. Alright, so we just work the sauce right to the edge of the crust. Add our cheese. Just want a nice even layer of cheese. Now we're going to add our veggie mixture. Broccoli, carrots, peppers, red onions, you want to make sure that your ingredients are evenly dispersed.
What do you got going on there?
Mushrooms,
Some mushies.
spinach,
Spinach. Alright, the blackberry barbecue chicken is coming out of the oven. Man, that thing looks premium.
Okay, so we're going to load our veggie pizza in the oven.
Boom. Blackberry barbecue chicken.
Dude, it's fucking crazy. It's amazing. Hell yeah. Nick, good job, buddy.
Yeah, bruh.
Yo, Blake Fit.
Boom, just got the veggie pizza, the veggie supreme out the oven, and serving it up.
Cool.
Here we go, we got the veggie supreme, just came out. Boom. Ooh, it's super hot. Crunchy crust, super thin, cannot perfect. Wash it down with some mango juice. Remember, don't be your own worst enemy. If you're in any kind of cutting phase and you're really trying to lose, this is a fantastic meal, but make it before 4 p.m. or right at 4 for the very, very latest. If you're in any kind of 4C muscle phase or an ectomorphic body type, this is a fantastic late night snack even. So enjoy. Nick, thank you so much, man. You kill it as always.
You're welcome.